Many things have been said about Mario Balotelli while being labeled all manner of names. He's just lazy, he loves causing trouble, he hates training, he is one of the best strikers Italy ever produced, a generational talent. That did not turn out to be the case, did it? Despite the striker being in the last years of his career, it still is impossible to define who the real Mario is. Even we find it hard to place him. In 2005, aged 11 years of age, Mario joined FC Lumazan, which was playing in Italian Serie C. By the time he turned 15, he had been promoted to the senior side. A year later, he was snapped up by Inter Milan. He dazzled on his debut, scoring a double against Sheffield in a memorial match. He had arrived. This was an Inter Milan team that had the likes of Figo, Zanetti, Adriano, Ibrahimovic, Crespo, among many others. But he still managed to get more minutes, and by the end of the season, he had quite an impressive report to take home. His second season was even more impressive. He started by leading Inter into the Supercoppa win against Roma, and by November, he had become the youngest player to score in the Champions League. By this time, he had become a household name in Italian newspapers, not only for his talent and goals, but also for his eccentric demeanor and his tense relationships with fans. Still, everyone thought he was bound to win the Ballon d'Or. However, the controversy started overshadowing his talent, and by the time he was just 19, manager Jose Mourinho had banned him from playing for half a month, claiming a young player like him could not be training less than players like Figo or Zanetti. The stories of Balo's ridiculous behavior at the time kept coming, and by the following season, Mourinho had countless stories to tell about the striker. The famous one that has since become a meme is when Inter played Rubin Kazan in the Champions League. With key Inter strikes out injured, Mario was the only one available, and having been shown a yellow card in the first half, Mourinho spent 14 of the 15 halftime minutes begging Balotelli not to cause any trouble at all in the second half. But a few minutes into the second period, he was sent off. By the end of that season, Balotelli was at loggerheads with almost everyone. Even his own teammates were criticizing him. Then it started to crumble. He first went on live TV wearing an AC Milan jersey with his name on it. Somehow, Mourinho still gave him another shot. But then came the straw that broke the camel's back. He angrily threw his shirt to the ground after a clash against Barcelona. There was no coming back from this. He was attacked by fans, and it was apparent he would not continue at Inter. And after 86 games, 28 goals, 3 Serie A, and a Champions League trophy, Super Mario packed his bags and joined Roberto Mancini at Manchester City. He would go on to show his talents on arguably the grandest stage in world football. And by the time he left City, the club's fans loved and hated him in equal measure. His first season did not go as expected, though. He picked an injury in his first game, which kept him out for 2 months. But on coming back, he showed flashes of the player he was an Inter, at least on the pitch, and he also won the Golden Boy Award, beating the likes of Sergio Aguero and Jack Wilshere. His second season was much better, but as you would expect, his antics had not stopped. Off the pitch, Balotelli was involved in all manner of controversies, from car accidents, visits to bars, to a fight against a high school bully. To be fair, some of these were exaggerated and more of a press invention, prompting Mario to don his iconic "Why Always Me" t-shirt after scoring in the Manchester Derby against United. Who cares though when you make your club champions after 42 years? 2012 was without a doubt Balotelli's greatest year. After the many controversies, he assisted Sergio Aguero's famous goal that saw Man City win their first Premier League title in almost 50 years. After helping City win the title, he joined the Italian national team for the Euro 2012 finals, where he was one of the top scorers. It was during the finals that he claimed one of his iconic lines: "When I score, I don't celebrate because it's my job. When a postman delivers letters, does he celebrate?" His other iconic moment came when he scored against Germany in the semis, ripping off his shirt before flexing his muscles while standing motionless. Iconic. Despite helping City win the Premier League, the controversies overshadowed his talent, and he would be allowed to leave and join AC Milan at the beginning of 2013. His first 2 seasons with Milan were average. Milan would sell Balotelli to Liverpool, and it coincided with the beginning of his fall. He never got along well with anyone, least of all manager Brendan Rodgers, and failed to meet the fans' expectations. He scored just 4 goals in his first season with the Reds, and was considered the worst signing of the season. He returned to Milan on loan, but was eventually released. With nowhere to go, he joined Nice in France. That must be rock bottom, right? Wrong. He was a good signing for the French side, and even helped them qualify for Champions League. But when Patrick Vieira joined, things got worse. He left and joined Olympique Marseille for half a season, then Brescia. In December 2020, he signed for Monza, where he stayed briefly before moving again, this time to the Turkish league with Adana Demirspor. There he never settled and was forced out after a furious row with boss Vincenzo Montella. He currently plays for Switzerland's FC Sion, his 11th club of his traveled yet unfulfilling career. For sure, he has made mistakes during his career, but according to him, his biggest regret was leaving Manchester City, and joining Liverpool from Milan was close second. Why was he the way he was? Balotelli was just Balotelli, simple. Perhaps one reason why Balotelli never did anything serious was because of his immense talent. Right from his teenage